It's official. Vic Fangio is the new Eagles defensive coordinator. And if you don't like it, I guess it could always be worse. You could be a Cowboys fan. Dallas still stinks. Yo, by the way, Dingbat here. Hope everybody's having a great day. Hope you guys are doing. Hope you're hanging in there. It is 5 in the mother humping morning. Well, a little later than that. And Vic Fangio is on his way to Philly to sign the contract to be the Eagles' next defensive coordinator. It is official now. It is happening. We knew as soon as he parted ways with the Miami Dolphins, you knew he was coming to Philly. You knew it. And listen, if you don't like it, too bad. No, I'm just kidding. But if you don't like it for real, it could be worse. You could be a Dallas Cowboy fan. You know what I'm saying? You see everything going on with them. Now, before we get into all of it, I just want to say, if you're new to the channel and you like the content, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe to the most censored, the most throttled Eagles content creator in all of the internet. We're getting closer and closer to 100K, and I hope by the start of the season to be there. Now, as you all know, Vic Fangio is going to be the next Eagles defensive coordinator. All right, Adam Schefter is reporting this morning. Former Dolphins defensive coordinator Vic Fangio is traveling to Philadelphia this morning to officially sign a contract to become the Eagles' new defensive coordinator, per league source. Eagles officially get their man. They get their man. And here's how I see it, right? After I don't know, 12 hours, 13 hours to kind of let it process that Vic Fangio was going to be the next defensive coordinator. Here are my thoughts on it, okay? I still don't like it. I'm just going to keep it real. Not because I don't think Vic Fangio's a good coach and, he can't do a good job. I just don't like the scheme. I just don't like it. It's going to be more of the same than we've got. Now, I'll say this. If you're going to run a certain scheme, it's better to run it from the guy himself than all these people trying to be him. I think it's important that he has experience. And really the question is, because the thing with Vic Fangio that throughout league circles is that basically teams have figured out his defense, that they have figured it out. That's what a lot of people say. So the question is what adjustments is Vic Fangio going to make to throw teams off? What adjustments is he going to make to the adjustments? That's what this league's about, really. You look at quarterbacks, look at schemes, you look at positions. Listen, players go out, they play good. You see it all the time with quarterbacks. They have one great year, and then teams adjust to them. They can't do anything ever since, right? You have to be able to adjust to the adjustments. So teams have adjusted to Vic Fangio's defense. They know how to beat it. Good quarterbacks beat it all the time, unless it's Dak Prescott. But they beat it all the time. So what adjustments is Vic Fangio going to make? Last year when we were in the Super Bowl and Gannon left, yes, I would have wanted Vic Fangio to be the defensive coordinator because I knew that there was 100% no way that the Eagles would change schemes after going to the Super Bowl. So getting Vic Fangio at that point in time made a lot of sense. But after the debacle that was our defense, if you can call it a defense, it was more like a wet paper bag. I was hoping for something new. I was hoping for a brand new, fresh look, a fresh scheme. But the Eagles didn't want that. As soon as Vic Fangio became available, they ran away with it. They ran to get him. That was going to happen. Now, I don't care for the scheme, but I will say this. Vic Fangio, it's better to have Vic Fangio than all the Sean Desai's or the Jonathan Gannons or all these other guys that are just basically, proteges of Vic Fangio. It's better to have him himself, okay? The one good thing I like about getting Vic Fangio, and the one thing I think that is going to be important about having Vic Fangio here, is going to be I hope that it's going to help Nick Sirianni. Nick Sirianni is he's a young coach. And, I think having a guy with experience, Vic Fangio's been in the league, 11, 12 years? He's seen a lot. I think he could help Nick Sirianni in that way. I think having Nick Sirianni, young offensive coordinator, young defensive coordinator, I don't think it totally was a great thing. Now, there is some things coming out of Miami that we got to talk about, right? You've got guys, apparently, per reports, Jalen Ramsey really didn't like the scheme, didn't think he was utilized right. There were players that didn't like the scheme, they didn't like how they were used. There were other players that liked it. I guess that's always going to be the way it is with any defensive coordinator. You know what I'm saying? But Vic Fangio has to, and the most important thing to me is going to be, you've got to use your talent to their abilities. You can't be dropping Hassan Reddick into coverage all the time. You got to use your guys to their abilities. Here's what Adam Schefter said on 97.5. He goes, this is about Fangio. He said, he does play to his scheme, of course, but he's going to adjust to his talent. Vic is somebody that is so smart defensively that he figures out how to get it done with the strengths of your defense. Adam Schefter on Fangio's scheme. So if you could get that, if you could get a guy that could come in, make adjustments to the offenses that have adjusted to your defense, can get your talent and figure out how to use it. I could tell you right now, Matt Patricia was not using his players to their ability. I also expect that the secondary will be a lot better under Fangio. Just right off the bat. So that should be a lot better. But, if it was me, I was hoping for a brand new scheme. I was. So I'm not overly happy and excited about this situation. Where I like it the most is if you're going to have somebody run a certain scheme, it might as well be the guy himself scheme. So that is okay. And I also like the fact that I think Nick Sirianni needs help. He needs experienced people around him. Okay? Here's what Nick Sirianni said about Vic Fangio.
I really value the relationship that I was able to develop with Coach Fangio. Great person, great football mind, a huge Phillies fan. Value the friendship that we have in the time that we spent together.
So that was what Nick Sirianni said about Vic Fangio in the past. I think he likes Vic Fangio. I think it's going to be a positive to have Vic Fangio in terms of helping Nick Sirianni and giving him somebody to go to that has experience in this league. I think that's very important. Really, the real question is who makes better gravy? Who makes it? Is it Vic Fangio? Is it Nick Kotite? Who makes the meatballs? Who makes the cannolis? Who can do it better? That's going to be the question. But we'll see what happens. Now, when we look at yesterday's press conference, the one thing I can say is Nick Sirianni did not look very comfortable to me. He looked like a guy that got neutered. Obviously, he's a head coach that has now less power than he had the year before. And if you want to talk about not just in terms of the offensive play calling, he's not going to have a say in the play calling on offense or defense. But where else is he losing power? What about roster moves? There was a comment he made kind of suggesting that the front office is going to decide the offensive and defensive coordinator. I thought that was interesting. But I really thought Nick Sirianni came off looking like, bit uncomfortable in the press conference and like he was really neutered. Like, I hate to say it that way, but it's just keeping it real. He looks like he is the front guy now, and it is what it is. We'll see what he does. Now, as far as the offensive coordinator, they went experience defensively. I'm starting to get a feel from things we're reading and hearing and what they said in the press conference. I think they're going to go for a young offensive coordinator mind. I think they're going to look for somebody that actually, maybe is top of the edge, new concepts and things going on in football that the Eagles want to bring in to their team. Jeffrey Lurie loves all that stuff. He loves being at the top of the line when it comes to that on offense. So it wouldn't surprise me if they go a young offensive coordinator. It wouldn't even surprise me if they do somebody from college or something like that. Quarterback coach from the Houston Texans. I think all that is wide open. So it's going to be really, really interesting to see how it goes. Listen, as I said in the opening of the intro of this, it could be worse. You could be a Dallas Cowboy fan. Can you imagine that? The Dallas Cowboys, you see what's going on with them? You got family members of players coming out saying Dak Prescott can't win the big game. He stinks. Stinks. All right? Listen, when CeeDee Lamb's mother saying it, Micah Parsons' brother saying it, why are they guys saying it? Because that's what they think. That's what those players think. And it's going to be, I know Mark Holmes is heartbroken. Dude, this is killing him. But, maybe Dak Prescott should go somewhere else. And I'll tell you this, if Dak Prescott goes somewhere else to an AFC team, I hope he wins a Super Bowl. That would really piss the Cowboy fans off. But listen, it could always be worse. We could always be Cowboy fans, where they're ready to burn it all down. They're ready to get rid of their franchise quarterback, who had an MVP. He's an MVP quarterback. Yeah, but he can't win the big game. That's always been his problem. With that said, take care. I will talk to you later, of course. Don't be a dingbat. Remember, it's Howie Vision. We're all just living in it. Now, if this defense doesn't work out and kind of does what I think it might do, I want a brand new mother-humping scheme next year. I want to bring the blitz back. I want to bring pressure back. I want somebody that wants to take off your head. I don't care what people say about that's not the game today. No, that is the game today. Because when offenses have all the advantages, the only way to kill the snake is to cut him off at his head. You got to get to the quarterback. Denzel Washington out.